And here's your heads up to this FMQ. It's all about something I heard, someone telling me that they'd heard it from somebody else, another quote, and it was from good old Albert Einstein. And it's all about how precious your imagination is. So have a listen. If you're new to this, just have a quick listen to the intro and I'll explain everything about personal development unplugged and my dreams, my imagination for the field of learning and personal development. And if you're not, skedaddly-doos, about a minute and a half, and I'll begin. Enjoy. This is a FMQ, the 5-minute quickie podcast from me, Paul Clough, from this niche of one, hopefully a niche of one, of unplugged personal development. It's to get you thinking, to give you information, to give you some real good snippets of processes that you can use right now in this genre of personal development, breaking things down into simple how-tos that get results, minimum amount of effort to get the maximum amount of return and make life brilliantly good. Because in this world of personal development, self-improvement, I believe things have been made far too complicated. Or people are talking about things that they just do and they don't explain how they did them. And I'm creating processes to enable you to get those type of results easily and effortlessly. And more importantly, simply. Because as Einstein once said, in simplicity there's genius, so therefore we're going to create things simple. Simples. I want you to encourage you to have your dreams, to notice that sometimes when you haven't got them, it wasn't your fault. Yes, we have to take responsibility for the decisions we made, but we made those decisions with the information, the wisdom we had right then. And now you've got a chance to really create the world you want to live in and create the you want to be fully integrated, being authentic, singing from the right voice, not the right voice, your voice, and become part of this unplugged personal development team, this family, this thing that we're creating, and sharing everything we do with everybody. So please enjoy, have more fun than you can stand, and please just listen and enjoy.
Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Now, I'm going to quote from a guy called Wayne Dyer, who was, unfortunately, he's dead now. Died, I think, just a short while ago. But he was a great personal development, spiritual teacher and talker, who I was reading a book of his where he quoted Einstein. And Einstein said, "Put a keep out sign on your imagination. It's yours and yours alone." And I thought to myself, good old Einstein, we love him for his simplicity. But what a wonderful thing to say. Put a keep out sign on your imagination, because your imagination is yours. Okay, that sounds, fairly simple and fairly obvious, Paul, you might say. But here's the thing. Imagination, ideas. Don't let anybody put your ideas down, your imagination down, derail you, put you off, because everything that you see now, if you just look around you now, the things you may be sitting on, the clothes that you wear, were all created in imagination first. They were an idea of somebody in their imagination, and then they took action. They weren't derailed. And I think that's absolutely brilliant advice, because once you start to foster your imagination, practice it, have fun with it, let ideas just come without any desire to even take them forward at the moment. Just be an open imagination magnet, as it were, of ideas, of thoughts, and just allow them to come into you. Now, but the whole thing about imagination and ideas coming into you, you don't want them to come in and then disappear. So how do we keep hold of our ideas? Now, I've got one or two ideas. I've got an idea about it because I imagined it. You see, I use a thing called Evernote on my phone. And when I'm wandering around and I have an idea, bang, open up Evernote, make a little note, close it, done. Job's done. I can forget about it for the moment because I know I won't forget about it. It could be that you've got a little notes file. Maybe the one thing you could have is an ideas book, like your Jenny journal. So you can, now sometimes you can maybe have two. I thought about this. And I may be going overboard with books because you just know I love having Jenny journals of all sorts of descriptions, shapes and sizes. So I've actually got one which is my ideas book. And it's a big one. And that's where I transfer my thoughts, my ideas, my imagination from those Evernote notes from my phone into a big book. What would it be like if you had a little imagination book? You even put a sign on it, keep out. That instead of a phone, you had it on your desk, you had it with you, had it in your pocket. You've got to have a pen with you. That's the only problem. Or a little pencil. You get those little pencils. And every time you had an idea, you made a note. And remember, you don't have to make notes all in writing. A little picture, a little thought, something that tells you that when you look at it again will remind you so clearly of the thought you had. And then you can sit down and allow those ideas to begin to expand. Remember, we've talked about focusing, how that deep thinking and just focused attention will allow you to shut out the noise and develop things. Now, ideas, imagination is a wonderful thing, obviously, to develop your thoughts. And this is a wonderful way to do it, I think. You can have so many different coloured books because they're lovely, different coloured pens, different things. You could, all sorts of wonderful things. You should see my pencils and pens. I've got an array of them because each one brings new ideas. Well, that's what I imagine. So wouldn't it be good if you knew that every idea you had is going to be looked upon by you? Now, there are some ideas that you may run with. There are some ideas that as you start to develop them, you start to think, actually, this is not going to be quite so good as I thought. But the thing is, because you've got it in your book, your imagination book, your ideas book, you can come back to it. Because sometimes, as we're wandering along, guess what? We have another idea to add to that idea. There's been so many times when I've looked at something and I've thought, that is rubbish, Paul. I don't even know what I'm talking about because I can't see that going anywhere. And then a little time further on, something's happened. Someone like Einstein saying, imagination, keep out. Don't let anybody knock you off your ideas. I've suddenly thought, hey, hang on a minute. I can remember doing something similar. And therefore, I've carried it on. So that's just a little thing. Good old Einstein, good old Albie Einstein, coming up with those wonderful things. In simplicity, there's genius. And no one's going to knock our imagination. Keep out. Back off. That's another one. Back off. I love that. Back off my imagination. Back off from my ideas. So that's me sharing someone else's, Wayne Dyer's sharing of Albert Einstein's sharing. And isn't that what we talk about here in this wonderful world of the niche of one, unplugged personal development, this integrated field of learning, how we can share our ideas, how we can share the parts of our imagination and then let them come to fruition. And always knowing. I'm always reminded of the story, and I know I've told it before, about Walt Disney. And unfortunately, he died before Epcot came to fruition. Obviously, his ideas were there. And I know one of the reporters said to his brother, isn't it a shame that Walt didn't see this? And his brother said, well, of course he saw it. He saw it in his imagination. How do you think it became real? Dreams becoming real. Creating our reality. Now that is so exciting. All coming from an idea that you didn't let anybody else knock out. So let's go and get our ideas book. Let's go and put our little sign on it. Keep out, back off, and allow them to come to fruition with our deep thinking and our action, taking action on these wonderful ideas, because we've now got an outcome, an idea in mind, and we're going to take inspired action. Because where did those ideas come from? Our intuition, the universe coming to pop those ideas into your head. Because the universe thought you were the right person. That's a bit deep, Paul. Yeah, it is a bit deep and maybe woo-woo la-la. But it's right. It's true. Because I thought about it. Anyway, I'm going to leave that with you to mull in your mind, mull in your imagination. Write it in your ideas book. I'd love to know how your ideas have grown. What things did you think of? What action did you take? And what were the results you get? And whether having multiple little Jenny journals around, do they serve a purpose? I think they do. They do in my world, do in my imagination. Anyway, that's just a little ditty from me. Please enjoy every heartbeat and have more fun than you can stand. And as always, if you just listen to the little outro, this one's going to maybe be a little different. Who knows? Okay, that's it from me. See you soon. Hey, here's your usual last minute reminder. Now, time is, very rare, and we need to look after our time. And I know your time is called upon by other things and other people to share their works too. So the next time you're thinking about sharing, if you could just think about this podcast and share it with maybe just 2 or 3 of your closest friends or people who you know that would appreciate it. That would be really good. And it would help grow this little niche that we're carving out for ourselves of personal development, unplugged personal development. If you go to iTunes, that would be great. If you have the time to subscribe, maybe leave a nice review. That would be even kinder. And one more thing. The one thing I keep banging on about is all the hypnosis and the NLP processes for all the podcasts are now easily to get at paulcloughonline.com/podcasts. No, not podcasts, podcast, singular. And you go there, they're all there for you, and I'm adding to them at least every month. Okay? Do that. You'll have a great time, and they're all downloadable. So they're in one place, they're downloadable, and you can have more fun than you can stand doing it. There's also loads of stuff on paulcloughonline.com. There's Supreme Inner Confidence. It's a lovely program to grow your self-esteem and really have the confidence that I know you have got, but allow it to come to the fore so you can be truly aligned and get the goals and the dreams that you want. There's also Free Your Life from Anxiety. It's a lovely course, I believe it's a lovely course, to let go of anxiety because no one needs it in the world at all. You don't need the anxiety, you don't need the stress. Learn how to just let it go. And again, that Supreme Inner Confidence, what more do you need? And on that Free Your Life of Anxiety program, the first 5 days are absolutely free. So you can test it, and even, you never know, you might even let go of your anxiety in those first 5 days. People do. Hey, have a look around, have a poke around. There's lots of stuff there, and enjoy. And if you didn't know, you can also get this podcast on Spotify now. Hey, until next time, have more fun than you can stand.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.